Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and as well as giving the salutations thereof towards the Akim that's holding this truth worldwide, and Shalom to the Akim Mark Wafyam at the same time that heed to these lessons. And once again, it's your brother Laban coming at you with another video. And the title of this video is going to be called Esau Wants a Seat in Your Mind and to Reform Planet Earth. Something to that equivalent anyway. And I'm going to show you these two videos. This video is relatively a new one, which I believe it was published last week on the 19th. And also an old video with Harari in it. And he's speaking about how they really feel inside, obviously these elitists. And the topic is pretty much gathering data on everybody, and as well as gathering data of other organisms and eventually reforming life as you know it. And that's what the Great Reset is really all about. It's not about just resetting societies, but resetting all of that which is natural and morphing to something else, to their liking. Therefore, they can call themselves the Most High God. So now, without further ado, let's play this video. Let me start all over again. I know what to do. Let me do this instead.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nick. You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that
Hopefully you can hear it as well. Let me turn this up.
everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible. We've heard a lot about AI over the past few years. Here at Davos, it's been the talk of the hour. But I want to talk about it in a different way, which is the ability to decode brainwave activity. After all, what you think, what you feel, it's all just data. Data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence.
And see, the way that she's selling this to you, it's like, oh, well, we're just trying to better human beings and just make life a bit more convenient. And, that's the pseudo vibe that I'm getting from this video. As usual, when you have these people that are involved in the technology world, and they bring out these inventions are not necessarily approved by the people. This is just basically the powers that be pretty much abusing their power and inventing stuff that the people don't really want. And has it really been about the people? No, it's never really been about the people. Just like, for example, people blurt out this thing called democracy, which democracy is just an illusion of power that most people think they have, but in all reality, they don't have no power. The true power lies at the top of these councils within your government. And this is why they're able to override what you want and to do what it is that they want to do. And, getting you hip to, like I said, what they want you to do, pretty much. All right, so now let's play this. Some more of this right here.
Data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. Consider this. The average person thinks thousands of thoughts each day. As a thought takes form, like a math calculation, you're happy, you're tired, you're hungry, you're elated. Neurons are firing in your brain, emitting tiny electrical discharges. As a particular thought takes form, hundreds of thousands of neurons fire in characteristic patterns that can be decoded with EEG, or electroencephalography, and AI-powered devices. In fact, what you're seeing here is my brain activity while I'm wearing a simple device like the one on the right. We're not talking about implanted devices of the future. I'm talking about wearable devices that are like Fitbits for your brain.
And no, they will come with devices that you have to put under your skin. And you see, this is the thing. Like, you get these people and they'll talk about devices that you will wear. And the reason why she blurted this out, because basically what they want you to believe is that with no way, shape, and form looking to implant you with the C hips, so to speak. And this is the proof. You see how we have to say the actual word in a different way. That's proof in itself that this is what they're gonna come with, man. All right. Eventually, they will come with implantable devices. So yeah, let's play some more of this.
That in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. Consider this. The average person thinks thousands of thoughts each day. As a thought takes form, like a math calculation, you're happy, you're tired, you're hungry, you're elated. Neurons are firing in your brain, emitting tiny electrical discharges. As a particular thought takes form, hundreds of thousands of neurons fire in characteristic patterns that can be decoded with EEG, or electroencephalography, and AI-powered devices. In fact, what you're seeing here is my brain activity while I'm wearing a simple device like the one on the right. We're not talking about implanted devices of the future. I'm talking about wearable devices that are like Fitbits for your brain. It used to be that there was very little. As a particular thought takes form, hundreds of thousands of neurons fire in characteristic patterns that can be decoded with EEG, or electroencephalography, and AI-powered devices. In fact, what you're seeing here is my brain activity while I'm wearing a simple device like the one on the right. We're not talking about implanted devices of the future. I'm talking about wearable devices that are like Fitbits for your brain. It used to be that there was very little we could tell.
But then again, I went off. I have to correct myself. She did say, I'm not talking about implanted devices in the future, but I'm talking about wearable devices. So she didn't deny the fact that that's what they're going to do. Anyway, let me play some more of this. Let me bring this back. I got to manipulate it.
EEG activity. But already, using consumer wearable devices, these are headbands, hats that have sensors that can pick up your brainwave activity, earbuds, headphones, tiny tattoos that you can wear behind your ear. We can pick up emotional states, like are you happy or sad or angry. We can pick up and decode faces that you're seeing in your mind. Simple shapes, numbers, your PIN number to your bank account. It's not just your brain activity here that we can pick up. We can also pick up your brain activity in different places, like as your neurons fire from your brain down your arm and send signals to your hand to tell you how to type, move. All of that can be decoded.
And as she's showing that device right there, that gadget, I'm thinking about every government facility having these. And as she's speaking about wearable, let me back up a little bit. As she's speaking about these wearable head devices, let's just say you're wearing these head devices and you're out and about, or you're in the house, and all of a sudden on these devices you see that light, that green light. All of a sudden it turns red. Guess what? Now what could happen is police could come towards your location, because the actual wearable device, or head device, the head wearable device that you will have is basically going to be an implant, or it could be the implant which will be on your right arm or on your left arm, wherever it is. So if your body is emitting a negative vibration, or after a negative thought, that's the only word I can use. That light's going to turn red, and therefore the police can locate you and take you to, a cell, basically, and explain to you what you were thinking. And this is what he want to get to. They want to get to that level. That's why there's been plenty of articles about preventing crime and all of this stuff. So we're talking about complete control over your mind. And I want to play a different video in showing you what Harari said back in 2018, which is what possibly going into 5 years. And he also speaks on data, gathering data of every organism. And once we've hacked into your data or hacked into the brain or the mind, then we can engineer you. And it just goes back to what I just said. It's all about power, in this case, over your mind. It no longer thrills them to do what they did in the early 2000s with the war and terror and, things that have happened back in like the 17th century, the 18th century. Like, these things no longer thrill them anymore. The new thrill on the desk is basically this idea of getting into your mind. All right. That's the goal now. So while everybody is distracted on various topics, whether it's, sports, whether it's topics of racism, genderism, whatever it is that, people get triggered by, which people have a right to get triggered by some of these topics. But just going back to what I was saying, this is what they're speaking about. This is what they're furthering in. It's just like back in ancient Rome, you had what you call bread and circuses. And that was to distract the public from what was really going on. And there lies the changes that happened in ancient Rome. And it's the same thing that's happening now. In order for the government or the powers that be to change the world, you have to be unconsciously aware of the change that they're bringing. So let's distract all of these people so that we can change the world to their fitting and get to this particular point. And that's why, some people saying, when you're talking to them about a particular subject matter in regards to what's going on around the world, and people will say things like, I wonder how we got there. Yeah, you got there because you were distracted all throughout your life on different subject matters and things that didn't really mean anything. And while that was going on, they were changing your world. And this is why the world is where it's at right now. So yeah, with that, I'm going to play this video.
We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens, because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. Now, what do you need in order to hack a human being? You need two things. You need a lot of computing power, and you need a lot of data, especially biometric data. But control of data might enable human elites to do something even more radical than just build digital dictatorships. By hacking organisms, elites may gain the power to re-engineer the future of life itself. Because once you can hack something, you can usually also engineer it.
And that's what they want to do. And this is the sentiment that these leaders have. And he's just one guy, as he is. He's just an agent, which is speaking forwardly or outwardly to the public and sharing the views of those backing this guy, and even people that are more powerful than the people that we don't see either. All right. This is the goal. The goal is to engineer you and to change you from what you are to a robotic version of you, and connecting you with technology. And through that technology, they'll have the utmost power over you. And this is why you have topics of metaverse and virtual reality glasses, because they want to get your mind into the technological virtual reality, and then therefore they can control you there. Okay, and you are no longer viable for the real world, but you're only suitable for the virtual reality, and therefore in the real world they control you. Okay, and this is their way of controlling your life, or a new way of controlling your life, and you won't have no say. But as the scripture says, and as we always do, we always bring the scriptures out, they're not going to get so far. They're only going to get so far in bringing the MOTB to the forefront, and that's going to happen. And eventually, once that's all said and done, the Lord is going to come and deliver his people and destroy the civilization and destroy their plans. That's the reality. And unfortunately, these people have been given a strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Okay, so now let's play some more of this.
All of life, for 4 billion years, dinosaurs, amoebas, tomatoes, humans, all of life was subject to the laws of natural selection and to the laws of organic biology.
And by the way, just shortly, I called bullshit on what he just said 4 billion years ago. How many scientists are going to say how old the earth is? You get, oh yeah, well, the earth is 21 billion years old. One scientist will say the earth is 7 billion years old, and the numbers don't never stay the same. They don't ever stay the same. So, and what it is to do with this carbon dating bullshit, because that's really what it is. All right. Anyway, let me play some more of this.
Biochemistry. But this is now about to change. Science is replacing evolution by natural selection with evolution by intelligent design. Not the intelligent design of some god above the clouds, but our intelligent design and the intelligent design of our clouds, the IBM cloud, the Microsoft cloud.
So, I mean, I don't have to play anymore. That's basically the point. The point is let's kick the Most High away from his creation, and let's use our intelligence to manipulate his creation. And as a matter of fact, let's take it a step further. Let's change the fabric of life itself. And that is what you call blasphemous words. And this leads me to wanting to read now Revelations 13:5. Or let's just get to the point, verse 6. And he opened his mouth in the blasphemy against the Most High. And this is referring to the system that we're now under, which is the red dragon, which is known as the red beast, which is symbolic of the revival version of Rome 2.0, which has been reinvigorated, right? And it reads, he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. Now let's look up this word blasphemy, which in the Greek word, if I'm correct, is blasphemia. Yeah, I'm correct. Blasphemia. And let's look at the definitions. Slander, detraction, speech injurious to another's good name, impious and reproachful speech injurious to divine majesty. So when they say, or when he said what he said, and as a matter of fact, let's play some more of this.
These are the new driving forces of evolution. And at the same time, science may enable life, after being confined for 4 billion years to the limited realm of organic.
Yeah, that's really pretty much the point. Yeah. What he just said is the fact that we can basically manipulate nature or natural selection with our own intelligence rather than the God above the clouds. I'm roughly paraphrasing what he said in my own little words. Like I said, that's what you call injurious speech against the majesty, against the divine majesty, as this gives it away, which is correct in this case. And then you also have the strong definition, which is from G989, vilification, especially against God, blasphemy, evil speaking, railings, saying that you're going to kick the Most High aside out of his space, and you can take his position in place to rule over the people by hacking into data and changing or engineering those organisms, as he said, okay, which has been naturally created by the Creator himself. Psalms 74 and verse 22. Arise, O power, and plead thine own cause. Remember how the foolish man reproacheth thee daily. Forget not the voice of thine enemies, and the tumult of those that rise up against thee increaseth continually. And the thing with this guy Harari, like I said, he's only speaking from the perspective of these elitists. This is the sentiment that they share so daily. They really believe that they're going to be gods over the planet Earth if they use this technology in the way that they're going to use it. All right. But again, I say that it's a strong illusion that they shall believe a lie. And that is a lie, by the way. That is the lie that's going to move them to create this technological world as they are in the process of doing. And with that, they're gonna bring that mark. And once they bring that mark, it's lights out for this devil. This system's going down. So let me go and get that in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Come on, man. Yeah, it's 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 11. And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. And Esau is not about truth. Esau is against the truth. Esau is against all that which is of truth. All right, which in relation is life. So ultimately, he's against life itself, which the Heavenly Father is a power of, he's a power of life and death, but he's ultimately the power of life. And that's why you have so much life on this earth, as well as the earth has a life to it. But they're saying they want to get rid of life. Okay. That's what they're conveying. They're conveying that is rid of the planet. But if you rid that of the planet, then they're going to rid themselves from off the planet as well, because they themselves have life in them. But again, this is the Lord playing with them, inflaming these thoughts that they already have naturally against the power, and making it more believable in their mind. And they believe that they can obtain this goal, but they're not going to be able to obtain it. It's inhumanely impossible for them to obtain this. Like, they're acting like they're spiritual beings, and all they need is to connect with this technology, and that will give them more superpowers added onto the spiritual power they think they already have. And that's going to do them justice in fulfilling this goal of them becoming gods. The sons of Satan cannot become gods. That's a gift given to the saints, the Israelites, the elect. They will become the gods of the planet. And we're going to do unspeakable things that they're trying to do. See, we're not going to try to do these things. We're going to just do it because the Lord is just going to give us that element of basically being able to do these things. The Lord is going to give us the rudiments to do all of these things. All right. These devils are trying too hard. Like what they're forgetting about is the fact that they're in the flesh, and there's limitations to the flesh. Anything that the flesh creates is going to be likened onto the flesh with limitations. All right. So yeah, they're just trying to be gods, man. But the thing of it is, the saints are going to be gods. They're going to have this thing called eternal life. They're going to have changing of bodies. They're going to have the everlasting kingdom. So Esau is trying to reform the world so that he can have all things to himself and have access to that infinite power through this technology. But that's not what the Lord promised them. That's only for the saints, man. So they're doing too much with their frail ass. Anyway, let's read the book of Psalm 74. Y'all read it already. Let me read this again. It says, arise, O power, and plead thine own cause, and remember how the foolish man reproacheth thee daily. And with those kind of words, man, those are some reproach words. And that's their spirit. Their spirit is to be against the Most High himself. And I mean, can you really blame them because they're crooked anyway? But whether you can blame them or you don't want to blame them, the Lord is going to demonstrate his power on these people. And it's going to be well declared that we have a power, and that power is going to claim his people. And those people will become gods like they're trying to be. Okay. And all of these nincompoops, I call them, which is another way of saying a damn fool, they're going to see the power in Israel and they're going to be jealous. And the reason why they're going to be jealous, of course, because this was the kind of power that they was trying to get to. But they couldn't get up to that power because the Lord didn't sanction that for them. All right. So anyway, enough of me talking. Let's get back into reading this. Forget not the voice of thine enemies and the tumult of those that rise up against thee increasingly continually. Like I showed you in the word blasphemia, which means to slander, detract, speech injurious to another's good name. This is the point: impious and reproachful speech injurious to the divine majesty. So again, this is in relation to Psalm 74. Now we're going to read Psalms 12, let's begin by reading verse 1. A psalm of David. Help, Yahweh, for the godly man ceaseth, for the faithful fell from among the children of men. They speak vanity, every one with his neighbor, with flattering lips and with a double heart do they speak, and the Lord shall cut off all flattering lips, and the tongue that speaketh proud things, who have said with our tongue, we will prevail, and our lips are our own, and who is Lord over us? You see, and that's how they think and believe in themselves. They think that they're the creator and that there's no other power besides them, as it is written in the book of Psalms 14, that the fool have said in his heart that there is no God. And like I said, when the Messiah makes a second return, oh man, a lot of these individuals that's behind this tech, they're going to see the real power, and they're going to be shaken, as it reads also in the book of Luke 21. I forgot the particular verse, but it reads that the powers on heaven shall shake. And by this individual, he wrote, this is for the most frightening thing the World Economic Forum has ever put out. Well, what's going to be put out on the face of this planet is that the Messiah's return is going to be the case. It's going to be put out, and that's going to be the most frightening thing the world has ever seen. How about that? Okay. These are just mere mortals talking loftily and flattering themselves, trying to speak what they want into actuality, but in all reality, it's all a vanity at the end of the day. Okay. And that's why I want to read this too. Psalms 144 verse 11, ride me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speak of vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. And that's the absolute truth. In this case, it is vanity of what these people be speaking about, because it's not going to happen as it is written. I like to quote the scripture, Proverbs 19 and 21, as it reads, that there be many devices in a man's heart, but the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. So there could be great ideas in your mind that you want to fulfill and put into place. But if it's not backed by the will of the Lord, it's not going to happen. But rather that the plans of the Lord is going to happen. And the plans of the Lord is that we will become gods. All right. They're not going to become the gods. So just because they're working effortlessly and speaking continually about this idea that they want to fulfill, it doesn't necessarily mean jack all. It ain't going to happen. No matter how much sacrifice you got to give to the spiritual demon Satan, these goals are not going to happen unless it's sanctioned by the creator. And Satan is nothing more than an agent of the creator. Okay. So whatever happens, it has to be backed by the creator. And what's backed by the creator, as I'm going to say again, is that we will become the sons of God. We will be able to read minds without no technology. We will be able to go beyond the earth and go to different planets. We will be able to walk through walls and teleport from one place to another place without having to work effortlessly. We're just going to just do it. You see, whatever the Lord does, it is put to happen here on this earth. There's only so much a mere mortal can do. So they really believe in their own hype, as it is written. Let's read this again. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, and we're going to read verse 11 again. For this cause the Most High shall send them strong illusions, that they should believe a lie. So there you go. That's why they're talking vanity, man, because the Lord is basically inflamed more of those strange thoughts that's in their mind, and now it's more believable. And they really think they got everything in the bag. But what they don't realize is that their destruction is nigh. The more they move towards this inhumane goal, this inhumanly impossible goal. Excuse me. Psalms 144 verse 12 now. That our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace. So our women are going to be decked out and beautiful. That our garners may be full, affording all manner of stores, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and tens of thousands. Let me back up a little bit. In our streets, that our oxen may be strong to labor, that there be no breaking in, no going out, that there be no complaining in our streets. Happy is that people that is in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord Yahweh, and that's the God, and he is the God of Israel. All right. And that's going to happen to us in the kingdom. All of that is going to happen to us in the kingdom after this devil is taken out of the way. Because remember, the Lord is the one that's revealing this devil, and he's the one that's allowing these devils to do what they're doing so that they can get the mark thing going. And once that mark has been, put into full effect, then, like I said, it's lights out. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this particular video here, giving all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah Hakwadash. And with that, I close. Shalom.